Crosby, Gensel on the right. He scores! Jake Gensel!
Hundley holds, steps up. Hundley sacks T.J. Watt. NFL history. Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record. Oh, no.
In the air to right. This is deep. And he did it again. Jack Sawinski wins it for the Pirates. 3 home runs in a game.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio right here in the Municipal Building. Thank you for watching us on Comcast 21. So if you're on 21, we don't say 7 anymore. Comcast snuck one by us a couple weeks ago. We thought we were with Smokin' Jim Frazier in Steel City Sports World. They do a show once a month, the first Wednesday of each month, when he disappears on anything we need here in BPTV. But we're on there, so thank you for watching us on Comcast 21. Thanks for watching us on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook. We appreciate that, and thanks for all the great feedback. Nick, check to make sure if I'm there. And then go to our Pittsburgh Sportsline channel.
Yes.
Even if you're watching us on Facebook or Comcast 21. I almost wanted to say 7. I've been saying it for 11 years. It's unbelievable. Pittsburgh Sportsline channel. We're at 101 subscribers. Thanks to all of you, including Guns and Smokin' Jim, for subscribing, and Nick, too, for creating my Pittsburgh Sportsline channel. We'd like to at least get a couple more tonight, so I'm giving you the incentive. I don't know. Maybe you can get a slice of pizza if you come to the studio off of Smokin' Jim Frazier before he takes it home. Yes. But we appreciate it. Thanks for all the likes on Facebook Live. It's over 69-55, something like that. So, we appreciate it, and we're just glad that you could watch our shows. We like talking sports. We have some information. We have some lack of information, and then, we explain that type of stuff. So we appreciate all of you. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Smokin' Jim Frazier. He's on a certain time that he calls. He can say it, but I don't want to do a disclaimer. But we did the 2-minute warning, and he walked in after that. So being a football scout, we respect you, and being a so-called star running back at Gateway and Cal U before it became West Penn, we've never got verification that he went to school at either place. Just had to do that. Thanks, Guns. Chip Hayner was back in the hospital. They had to take his knee transplant out, and he did call and talk to me. He got out of the hospital. He was in there like 5 days. He has an infection in his bone, and they put a thing he called a spacer, and it has antibiotics on it. So I guess they put the antibiotics on the bone, and he'll be able to walk in a few weeks. He's at home now. They have a port in him so he can get an antibiotic drip. Smokin' Jim knows like that with his left arm when he was just in the previous week with a mysterious illness, then a mysterious surgery, then a mysterious 5 days after the surgery. He got out, so he knows all about antibiotic drips, saline solution, and everything else, no matter how cute the nurse is or whether the doctor, disclaimer on me, is a white doctor that he prefers.
Disclaimer.
So I think we covered that. But Chip's going to be getting a 40-day, this is like biblical, 40 days of an antibiotic drip. Wow. He's going to have nurses coming to his house weekly. Steph has to give it to him. When the nurses aren't there, it's 3 times a day. I'm giving you the exact things. He goes, Al, you can say whatever I've said to other people. So, Amy, I don't know if you're watching the show, but that's what's going on with Nick. He's feeling a little bit better. He doesn't have the pain.
Chip.
Or, yeah, well, Amy. Smoking Jim, we don't know how he's feeling because last week he said great and he didn't sound great, but that's just my opinion. Sorry it's about Smoking Jim, but he's the star of the show.
I didn't tell you I was doing a crossword puzzle,
Yeah.
and I asked Smoking Jim how to spell Mississippi,
Yeah.
and he said to me, the state or the river?
Well, I got to do a disclaimer on guns for the first time. Smoking Jim doesn't know geography. So, Guns, I appreciate your
I gave it a
intelligence.
shot.
He's an author, and he's very creative with his words, and he did well. But all of you can keep praying for Chip since I focused back off of Smoking Jim. Don't forget to pray for him every day. He needs it. And Chip will keep praying for him, and he'll be off 5-6 weeks or more until he gets back to where he can start walking, which he had tremendous trouble, with what went on. And it seems like he took the blame for working his knee too hard after he had his first knee transplant and got back to doing his normal life. So all we can do is pray. He said to give the update. Sorry for the long-winded update, but that's all that I know at this point in time, and he may even be watching the show to confirm what I said. So, all right, Guns is filling in. Jim Ellenbogen, we got his own segment for him. Thanks to all of Guns fans.
You've had me here so long, I'm going to have to get an apartment in Pittsburgh.
Well, between you and me, Smoking Jim said in Gateway that if a parent's kid wants to play at school, we can get any type of place that they want to live, condos, houses, apartments, etc.
He already got me hooked up in Monroeville.
Yeah, so you can travel with him, but he's rarely there.
No, but what's nice about traveling with him, we never have to pay. Everybody
Yeah.
knows him.
All right, we'll get to Nick Callis is here, and we're going to do our promos. We got Henry, our intern from Robert Morris here, and we got Rowan, our 13-year-old, seventh grade? Or
Seventh grade Rowan?
Row.
See, I know some facts, but I got Nick as my right-hand man because I'm juggling 4 different things. Henry on camera, the camera wasn't working, and I have one promo to do.
Since
but
when
we're
did
gonna
Henry start going to Robert Morris?
Smoking Jim.
What?
Always started there?
The brain
sorry?
surgery. This is sorry,
I
folks.
just wonder. I didn't know. That's a
Smoking
good
Jim.
school.
No,
That's a good school.
Smoking Jim, before your surgery, you said that wasn't a good school.
Amy says you're dressed real nice.
Thank you,
And
Amy.
when you have brain surgery, we're not sure whether it was a lobotomy or just like a slice or two.
I only went to Pittsburgh Tech like everybody else.
Smoking Jim, you're just proving that the surgery wasn't successful. Your surgery was not successful.
Jeez.
We got to find out who the doctor was, but
Oh, man.
we're gonna please let Rowan do his job. And Rowan, just do the promos, and then I have a promo for Zhang Taekwondo. They're coming up on their 1-year anniversary, where somehow Smoking Jim missed that last year.
Are you coming this year?
Yes.
He's coming on Saturday. Yes. Yeah. All right, Rowan, you have my permission to do the promos. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com.
And now this message from BPTV.
Alas, poor talking machine. I knew him well. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy?
Dave, I'm not dead. I'm still doing Pittsburgh Sportsline every Tuesday night and many other weekly shows on BPTV.
That's great, Al, but then who's this?
I don't know, but we must leave right now. Let's go.
South Park Theater is hosting its Party in the Park fundraiser on Saturday, April 29th from 4 o'clock until 7. There will be live music, beer, wine, hors d'oeuvres, and a slate of events scheduled for the kids. General admission is $40, 4 to 12-year-olds get in for $5, and children under 3 are free. Tickets are available at EV True Value Hardware, the Bethel Park Library, South Park Theater, or you can go online to bpcf.org. If you want more information, go online or call 412-760-9614.
Help save Pittsburgh police officer Jeffrey Crawford. Jeffrey is in need of a kidney donation. He's in stage 5 renal failure and he's on dialysis 3 times a week. He needs this kidney ASAP. To contact the UPMC donor registry, call 412-647-4438 or go to livingdonorreg.upmc.com. And to help spread awareness, use the hashtag #BlessJeff on socials. Let's come together to support Pittsburgh policeman Jeffrey Crawford in his time of need. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. All right, we got a special promo here, and we got Henry on the camera, so Rowan's going to direct them, that we'll see Zhang Taekwondo in Wexford and Bridgeville. They're offering a special plan, a uniform in 4 weeks for $30. And Grandmaster Zhang, just a little brag a little. Drew, shout out to Drew. Drew said hi to Nick. So
Hi, Drew.
Drew goes, I got to watch my bragging. So this isn't bragging, I'm just saying. They coached me up to do a Taekwondo forearm break of 2 boards, and I did it on the first and only attempt.
Wow.
And he wants me to do more come Saturday, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, go there, Grandmaster Zhang, and then Master Zach runs Bridgeville. He's a young man. I've only known him about 6 years, and he does a great job with all. He's won numerous titles and belts. You'd never meet a nicer guy than me except for Zach. He's that nice. He was the guy that held the board over my head.
Yeah.
And now he's beating other people, and he's teaching his students to do what he does.
Wow, that's awesome.
And he's just great. So check it out. That's Zhang Taekwondo in Bridgeville. And I'll give the address. It's 1025 Washington Pike, Suite 630, Bridgeville. And then they're at Lake Drive, 155 Lake Drive, Suite 205, Wexford. And phone number for Wexford, 724-934-9264. And that can get you both places to get reservations for your kids. And they're on the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. They're the only school in America that has curriculum of Taekwondo, and Grandmaster Zhang teaches it at their school, and we're going to be there on Saturday for a special event. And that's what I have on the promo, but I got to shout out to everybody. Mark Rohde, Paul Haley are watching. Marco said, Nick, it's your day. The new MLB, the show came out today.
Yes, and I'm going to talk about that later, too.
Okay, Marco, you're on fire. George Gallus is watching. Thank you. Johnny Mariano couldn't make it today. Somebody in his family has COVID. James Randall Ellenbogen's watching. Amy Sliss is watching. Hello, guys. Chief Chuck McElroy, get well, Chipper. Amy, prayers for Chip. Paul Haley, get well soon, Chip. Best wishes. Watching on FB from SC. Paul, we appreciate all the initials. Charlene Thomas is watching. Thank you. Zerna Davis is watching. Johnny Mariano always has something to say. Let's hear what it is. Hi, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, VIP, Guns, and Smoking Jim Frazier. Hey, Smoking Jim, can you tutor Michael for his math and Bible class? What do you charge? First of all, Johnny, you know Smoking Jim for about 8 years. I checked out when we first had you on a show 8 years ago. You know the answer to that is he doesn't charge anything and he doesn't teach anything. Guns Ellenbogen, Johnny wants to know, what time is the Easter egg hunt at your house this weekend? Easter's on the 9th, Johnny, so you're a little bit ahead of schedule.
You must have heard I got my order of Sarah's candy.
Yes, he was following you on Facebook. He only spent $300 on candy for his 2 daughters, their husbands, and 2 grandchildren, so we'll see what he has left to bring in. Tony from Chick-fil-A. Pittsburgh Pirates starting lineup for this Thursday, Nick. The baseball man.
Oh, my lineup.
We'll find that in a bit.
All right.
All right. We're going to What's on Your Mind, Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green, You got to see Levine. And I tell you what, man,
What?
I got a serious problem. I need help from my white friends on this.
Hold it. Disclaimer. He does not represent Pittsburgh Sportsline or BPTV. He's a well-known black man in Pittsburgh and on our show. And when he says white's all right, we know it's offensive to certain people from both sides of the coin. So that's a disclaimer. Carry on. These are his own thoughts and statements.
I'm only looking for help from one side of the coin.
Thanks he understood me.
Hey, listen, I heard about.
And why is the camera still on me?
I heard about a bank recently, Al Levine, the talking machine, that went bankrupt. And
Sort of like your Bitcoin stuff.
And they promised everybody $250,000, but this one lady had $10 million. She was like, "What's that going to do for me? I lost $10 million."
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
You don't know this type of stuff. but
Okay.
Your accounts are federally.
That's why I'm coming to the white man.
Yeah, but there's black banksters out there
In Rosewood,
everywhere, all over the country.
Black Wall
They
Street.
even had a stock exchange that
Black Wall Street. Yeah.
they did. And
Yeah.
There's a bad story about that, so Smoking Jim doesn't want to get in there. But the Federal Reserve, or you have federal protection up to $250,000 on your account.
I thought it was
Like,
100,000.
No, if you had a bank when you were working for IBM, it was only 100,000.
Right.
Because you could put all your paychecks in. But that's another story. But they're federally insured for that.
Good. Well,
So all of you like Smoking Jim that didn't know that, just check that out.
Well-
Google it.
Well, I'm glad you told me that. But Al Levine, the talking machine, I'm worried because I'm 2 or 3 years away from being $1 million.
Hold it.
But bank, you don't give me no $250,000 when I put $1 million in. Am I gonna have to hide it under my mattress?
You know what's
Al
hard?
Levine,
Here,
the
wait a
talking
second.
machine.
Time out. Put the camera on me. I'm going to do a little tutorial.
I'm on my way.
I'm going to do a little tutorial. All right? Put the camera back on me. Smoking Jim's my best friend. He doesn't know about banking. He doesn't know about investing. I've done all that since 18
got
years
faith.
old. Some group got him involved
Christian
with
group.
Bitcoins. And all of you know, even Tom Brady and all of them lost money in Bitcoins. Smoking Jim started, he verified it because I called him a liar. He verified because he told me he doesn't do anything online. Now, if your best friend and you trust him tells you never do anything online, then he tells you he has a Bitcoin account. And I go, my man, it's all online. So he sent me a statement with $1,200 in, said he started with $1,000. This is almost 2 years ago. And these nice people, I won't say what group, because there's good people and bad people, black, white, green, purple. You know, if an alien comes down, it might be good or it might want to eat you. You know, it won't be E.T. necessarily. So anyhow, this past year, we stopped talking about Bitcoins because the guy that started the one exchange for Bitcoins was defrauding people and had to close down his Bitcoin exchange.
Wow.
Billions of dollars worth it. And like Smoking Jim, how many of you have seen anybody advertising Bitcoins since last year? Nobody. You have Super Bowl, nothing. You got NCAA, you don't have Brady doing it. Guess what? They all lost money. So my best friend goes, hey, Machine, I'm up to $10,000
Yes.
that he said was a Bitcoin announcement.
I'm rich.
And they told him, sorry we're going away from sports, but you want to know about Smoking Jim. They told him, now how many of you out there have had this happen to you or would believe it? We're going to make you $1 million from that $1,000 in 5 years.
Yes.
Now, Smoking Jim supposedly went to college, has about 12 degrees, and you can believe him. So he has $10,000, and I go, my man, that's great. He goes, what would you do? I go, if I had $1,000, it's my first investment, and I have $10,000, sell. Because because then I'd have 10,000. Then next month I'd give them 1,000 again and say start the clock for $1 million. Because right now, like you could do the math even if you went to Gateway or KO like Nick and I.
Woo!
That means you need 990,000 in 3 years.
Yeah.
That means you need, simple math, 330,000 a year. It took you almost 2 years to get 10,000. So if I use his logic, in 5 years he won't be a millionaire. And he goes, Machine, I don't want to hear you say I told you so. I go, I'm telling you ahead of time. I'm not a Monday morning quarterback like your buddies. You won't be a millionaire in 3 years. Then he goes, well, what about within the next 5 years? So that's what we got to deal with. So we're going to drop that. And what he's saying about thanks, you know, our smartphones, and he had a Mac Pro laptop that he gave to his daughter in Atlanta, so that's all good. So he sees little snippets of news. And that's his attention span now. It's about 3 seconds. And I kept him on for a few extra minutes, so we got that cleared up. If you hear Bitcoins again, you can't believe 90% of it, because that's how far away he is from being a millionaire. I rest my case, and Smoking Jim, thanks for bringing up about the banks. All right, move on. What's on your mind, Guns? Sorry for the delay.
Let's do a little history here before I'm going to get to my point. In 1979, Pittsburgh Pirates, this time rocked with a World Series
The
championship.
70s, Steelers and Pirates.
We had to wait till 1990 to hit a playoff again.
Yeah.
90, 91, to 92, 3 playoff games, 3 losses. And then we had to wait from 1992 to 2013 before we got another playoff game and we won it. The next 2 years, lost them both. In the last 8 years, we haven't been on or anything. And what's happened is, and I've listened to the local media, how they've bought into this.
Yeah.
You know the old adage, if you can't raise the bar high enough, then you got to lower it. So what they've done is they've changed the narrative. And what I mean by that is, all of a sudden, if you win 62 games and you tell the public, hey, this year we're psyched, we're going to be great, we're going to win an extra 5 to 10 games, which is still a losing season. But down the road, nothing. This city deserves some winners. It deserves an ownership who's willing to put the money into them to win games. I don't subscribe to this BS in the media, and the local media is backing it up. Oh, we're going to have great competitive ball this year. We might win a few more games. So you're telling me in a season of 165 games, if you
162.
win, I beg your pardon. If you win 70, you're great, but you're going to get blown out by everybody else. No good. If you're looking to take your kids to a game and you want to get the ballpark thing or your grandkids and have a good
They
afternoon,
got playgrounds there.
and you got an extra $100 to $200 laying around, then go ahead and go see the Pirates. But if I got an extra $200, I'll have more fun going another block over to the casino and either betting the horses or betting the games. And that's what's on my mind.
Or one other thing, you'll have more fun buying Sarah's candy for Easter.
There is no candy better than Sarah's.
That's my point.
But I will say one thing. It's getting to the point where it's going to be cheaper to pass out gold bars than it is candy bars. You ever see what chocolate's costing now?
I
Yeah,
think
but
that,
I got to do a slight disclaimer on that. I just checked the price of gold because we had a little chuckle about something. It's only $1,984 an ounce.
I bought a $7 bag of M&Ms that when I opened it up, the wind blew my hair back. And I got a few.
You mean like those chips we eat?
Yes!
oh,
Yes!
here.
What's going on?
Guns is
That
on
was
fire.
good. That was good.
It's so bad Dairy Queen don't have chocolate sprinkles no more. There should be a revolution on
They
that.
don't?
No, they
been
give
there
you
in a while.
the rainbow ones because they can't afford the chocolate.
That's interesting.
Hey,
Think
Guns,
about that.
Tony from Chick-fil-A has a good statement. Like you wanted to switch with them. He goes, Smoking Jim brain surgery equal more nonsense. That's why Guns wants to go first. Then Bill Means, my KO buddy there, one of the toughest guys ever at KO. We missed you at the reunion on Saturday. People asked about my buddy Smoking Jim. They watched the show. Shout out to any of my KO guys. And Paul Haley, bobbleheads and fireworks, really? This is baseball in the Berg.
Fireworks, pretty.
It's like the movie Casino, like they turned Vegas from a great gambling mafia town
Yeah.
to pirate ships, like in the movie.
Yeah, I
Casino.
remember that.
That's what they've done to baseball. Guys that should own baseball teams are guys that are zillionaires that just want to have winning teams and enjoy the excitement of. And here's this lousy pirate team, but when you look at the books, Nottingham's made $60 million last year off of the backs of the people of this city and give them nothing but losing teams.
Wow.
Well, I got to give a little credit to Smokin' Jim. Last couple years, he's got free tickets to the Pirate game. I don't know what story or lie that he told, but how do you get 300 Pirate tickets and then you only go to 3 games?
Because he told the Roonies that the Pirates are a better football team than they are a baseball team.
You're on fire, Guns.
Jeez.
We got to go. We're halfway through the show. Sorry, folks. But I had to get the honest truth about the post-surgery on Smokin' Jim Frazier's head. What's on your mind, Nick Callis, VIP?
Marco made me smile today because
Everybody, it's blown up.
it's all good. Marco made me smile today because he posted on Facebook. Everybody remembers the Atlanta Falcons on today, March 28th, because 328. Yeah, Falcons had a 28-3 lead in the 2017 Super Bowl and blew it to the Patriots. That made me smile. Thank you, Marco, for that. Also perusing social media today, I kind of got a chuckle out of the Lamar Jackson situation. Maybe the Browns are actually genius after all, because perhaps frustrating Lamar Jackson by not being the highest paid quarterback in the league makes him not want to play for the Ravens, and that's one last team the Browns have to compete with this year, so it might be secretly smart. Still hate that they ruined the economics of the league, but like if you're talking about being selfish and being the Cleveland Browns, that makes all the more sense that it needs to.
Great points, Nick. I got to boost you up on that. You're spot on.
And speaking
The
of
mistake by the lake survives.
and speaking of MLB The Show, found out some interesting features in the game this year I just want to mention because it has to do with history and learning. And I know most of these guys were born in the 60s. We all know that I'm in my 20s.
50s.
And
were born in the
Al,
20s?
Al in the 50s. Me in the 20s.
50s and 50s.
50s and 50s. Smokin' was born in the quantum realm.
No one
So
knows
there's
when he was
that.
born.
So, right, so we, but anyway, we all know I'm young and I learned through video
What,
games.
98 or so.
Yeah, 1998. I learned through video games and
How'd I
electronic
know?
media.
90.
So, not a huge reader, though I do read. I know Al's going to talk about that too. Reading's important. I read when I was younger. Skipping all that right now, because I want to mention this. The baseball game this year, I mentioned Derek Jeter was on the special edition of the game. That made me happy to get it. But also, there's a section of the game that is dedicated to the Negro Leagues of Baseball, which is something that I never really learned about to an extent. I learned about it from just, people mentioning it like, oh, yeah, this existed, but then Major League Baseball still dominated. But nobody ever really talked about many of the great players who played in that league. And there's a whole section, there are like 9 players that you can learn about, like playing through moments and kind of going through, sequences and playing the game and being in the moments these players were in, which I think is amazing, especially because I never really learned about that. I certainly didn't live through it and never really learned about it to an extent. So having an immersive medium to be able to experience this through is awesome. Learning about Satchel Paige right now, how he called his different pitches really random before pitches had really official names. Called it a B-ball, a spinner, a loop-de-doo, whatever he was calling them. It's really cool to learn about, so I just wanted to say that too.
Is in there when he told all the players to sit down?
I didn't get that far yet. I'm into 2 episodes.
Tells them
So
all to sit down.
yeah, but you go through in different
He's the
episodes, and you kind
pitcher.
of just go through different lessons about these players, which I think is interesting. I've only played one other video game where I was learning while I was playing, and the fact that there's another game that's out there and really embracing not just Hall of Famers now, but Negro League players that were overshadowed by Major League Baseball. I just find that cool. Just another chapter of baseball history to learn, which is bringing me a little closer to the game. So that's what's on my mind.
Nick, that was great. And I didn't bring up the R word
Read.
because that's how I learned about it. And I won't talk about the Negro players that I brought up the book that I had that for Smokin' Jim.
When did we stop being Negroes? You know what year?
No, you would.
Yeah, I tell you, in the early 70s during the Black Panther stuff.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, the Olympics.
All right, it's your turn. I'm going to go to the back real quick. What's on your
Okay.
mind, Al?
First, I got to do a shout out to Pete Kasich, one of our friends. Trout season opens up on Saturday. He wants me to say a prayer for a nice day because he's going out with all his buddies to catch some wild-caught trout. Wild-caught trout. So it's hard to say. What's on my mind is, March Madness. Never played a bracket. I did once with Zach Brenner, but I just did it for fun. And my dad used to do it seriously. All of you that like bracketology, I'm for you. I just like watching the games. And I like watching all the upsets this year. Some are against it. But I'd rather some new teams be on. It's been 50 years since 3 teams made it to the Final Four that had never been in the Final Four. So imagine that. That's 50 years. It could be Smoking Jim's age or it could be less than his age. We're not sure. But it's 50 years, just that alone. Then the ladies basketball, I have a history. My dad used to referee girls basketball games in the 60s and 70s, and he loved it because of how technical they were with playing the game. Well, Dad, may you rest in peace. They're throwing up threes like men. And then Caitlin Clark for Iowa, she did the first 40-point triple-double in NCAA history.
Wow.
And these women have come on strong. And South Carolina looks like they're going to go all the way through this in spite of playing Iowa. I don't think Iowa can beat them. So we'll see with South Carolina. They're like the UConn of the past. Mm-hmm. And if they get shocked for this week, then we'll see what happens. But it's great basketball to watch, men and women's this year especially. So I appreciate that. And Rowan, just so you know, we're going to now go to those segments, and you can do it again officially. We're going to go to Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac in 10 seconds.
And I tell you what, man, on Saturday,
What happened?
I got a free ticket to go to the Willie Thrower Awards, which Willie Thrower, for people that don't know.
This isn't Black History Month. Can you say this?
Yeah, Willie Thrower was the first black
That's why I had to do it.
quarterback
I didn't want to throw a disclaimer
in
on.
NFL history. He got into one game when George Blanda got hurt and took him down for a scoring drive.
He's leaning
that was
only
it.
a little bit towards negativity.
But that was it.
Slippery
So,
slope.
He was close, one step away.
but I didn't realize that Willie Thrower won 2 WPIAL championships in high school. He won a national championship at Michigan State and played for the Chicago Bears. So this is the 3rd annual Willie Thrower Award. The mayor was there. A whole lot of important people was there. Matter of fact, the room was 99% black. Hell, Levine and Tiger, we had grits, but hell, Levine and Tiger
Oh, that
machine.
disclaimer. He likes provoking
I'm just
these
trying to paint a
disclaimers.
picture.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to paint a picture.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll just say, as a personal friend, he's not racist, even though he sees race everywhere. He's never heard anything racist, so
He
he's in,
sees everything in black and white.
yeah. No, thank you, guys. So his comments are only his own,
When it was
and they don't reflect us or BPTV Studio. So carry on, my opinionated
we were
friend.
all eating grits, and there was 4 white people there.
I've had grits.
and there
They're
was
coming
4
to
white
brunch.
people there. They was eating cream of wheat, but hell, Levine and Tiger machine.
I know grits. I've eaten
Levine
grits.
and Tiger machine. When they announced,
I like grits and greens.
when they announced they had the top black quarterbacks in the WPIAL and city up for this award. Who wins? There was 4 white people there. A mom, a dad, a coach, and the winner of the Willie Thrower Award was a white quarterback from Armstrong. El Levine and Tiger Machine. Not only that, in the history of the Willie Thrower Award, there's never been a black quarterback to win. It's been all white quarterbacks. El Levine the Tiger Machine. That's like the NAACP award or the BET award, not going to somebody black. But Al Levine, the talking machine, is it time? Just like the whites don't play cornerback anymore, is it time for the black guys?
on me.
Is it time for the black guys to stop playing quarterback and move like Randall Well, the wide receiver, or Cordell Stewart to do slash? Is it time, Al Levine? If you can't win a Willie Thrower award, Al Levine, the handwriting's on the wall. Is it time? And that's what's on my
Hold
mind.
it. Can anybody say how a criminal Deshaun Watson got $230 million contract
Would he be
guaranteed?
better as a
Is he
cornerback?
black?
Would he be better as a corner?
They pay him about 1/10 of that. So you guys, Gateway math wasn't strong.
I'm
for
just
him.
saying, is it time, El? In your opinion, is it time
No.
to give up the dream?
Your time has been passed. We're going to pass this on to the gun segment in 10 seconds.
I don't even know what to say about that.
We don't have any close.
Hey, wait a minute. Al Levine,
Yes.
the talker. I was a corner.
You're the last. You're the
You
last.
always told me I was white. Anyway, Pittsburgh Penguin time. Penguins are down tonight, 3-0 right now.
Woo!
I don't even know what to say about this Penguin team.
Yeah, it's tough.
But it looks like they may get a toe in the door and get into playoffs. Now, if that's the case, if being that Jari is the paper goalie, that if you even look at him, he gets hurt. I would play Casey DeSmith in the playoffs if they get in.
Or who was that guy that got the Chinese food? Bring him back from wherever he is. He's like Duck in the
Maybe.
NFL.
One thing about playoffs in any sport, anything can happen. And the thing about Casey DeSmith, he may not be as good as Jari when he's okay, but he's never okay. But the point is, is Casey DeSmith gives you 110% all game long. So, maybe this is the time to give him a chance. So we'll see. March Madness,
What happened to your bracket?
my bracket looked like Custer crossing a little bighorn.
We talked about that once, Nick.
We did.
Now you know
I don't
what he
even know
means.
what to even say. But I will say one thing. If anyone who watched the Creighton game,
Yes,
San
I
Diego
did.
State game, the referees decided that game by calling a foul on their last.
Yes, they did.
Now, here's the thing about that. Did he foul him? Technically, it was a foul. But here's the thing. The
It
referees
was a
have
little hand.
the referees have to decide whether they're going to play the whole game loose or the whole game tight. Now, they played that game loose the whole game. They didn't call that the entire game until the final shot.
Does this sound familiar to the Super Bowl?
It does. And the thing about it is, it gives the referees too much power instead of letting the game play. Now, if they were calling that game tight the whole time, I would have said, you know what? They called it tight. He should get fouled, but not in them circumstances because there's a million plays that lead up to a game. And
Well, like I believe most sports is fixed, even though I'm all about sports and everything else. And what makes it suspicious, my dad, Saul Levine, rest in peace, he always told me growing up, he goes, Alan, if you notice me during a game, I'm not doing my job. And I thought of him again watching Creighton. I go, Dad, you were right. I go, this official determined the game, just like the Super Bowl. The guy admitted he held, and it was a penalty, but they weren't calling it all game.
exactly.
So to me, when you have the NFL with FanDuel and all these other gambling concerns with billions of dollars of revenue, and you have Vegas telling you who's healthy and who's not, is there corruption? I answer wholeheartedly yes.
I agree.
And I just wanted to say that. Hey, we got a couple other people. Janice Sikowski-Rivetta is watching. Thank you. Our Dr. John Donatelli said, VIP, if ever in Kansas City they have the Negro League Baseball Museum.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I would love to go there.
VIP said he'd love to go there. George Malerbo's watching. He's a longtime friend at the Post-Gazette. Smoking Jim, you are feeling great and look wonderful.
Thank
As
you.
usual.
Thank you.
Maureen O'Toole Callis is watching. Thanks for watching, Mom. Paul Haley, the net and not clearing the puck off the Smiths block gave 2 goals up to the Caps. Thanks, Paul, for reporting on that since we're busy conversing way out there today. So we appreciate your help on that. We're going to go.
You know what? I had one more point.
Oh, go ahead.
My last point is the Steelers. We're talking about drafting, and here we go again. You know, them talking about drafting corners. I don't understand why they refuse to draft a rushing defensive end.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Now they're talking about bringing back
Dupree.
Dupree.
It took him 7 years to get good.
But here's my point. If you want to back up T.J. Watt, because T.J. Watt is more than likely going to get hurt because he just seems to constantly get
He
hurt.
has the Watt syndrome. After 30, you get hurt.
So why do you want to bring back another guy who gets hurt all the time, and then you're going to have to draft someone to back up them two? Draft a beast of a rushing tight end, and that will help Watt more than anything.
Yeah.
And that's what I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'm sticking to my guns.
You got it. All right, VIP time in 10 seconds.
All right, I got a couple opinions for today. I was going to mention the Penguins as well. I have a similar opinion to Guns in the sense that Casey DeSmith should start, and my opinion on that's a little faltering now because I think he got to start again tonight,
Yes.
and they're down 3-0.
did he?
So,
Yeah, he did.
yep.
Stand
He
corrected.
Yeah, so he started tonight's game,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, he was one,
didn't
I
know
guess, who
that.
gave up those 3 goals. So, yikes. But here's a win-win for Casey DeSmith starting. Okay, Tristan Jarry's made of glass. We understand that. He brings me back to the days of Francisco Cervelli signing an extension with the Pirates, and then also
Great point.
suffering with several injuries. So, catcher, goalie, same techniques, different sports, but same techniques. You get it. Tough position to
Except
play.
the women
taxing
love
on your body.
Cervelli.
Do people not love Jarry? I mean, he was a fan
No,
favorite.
but they liked him because of how handsome he was.
They like him because they can
Jarry,
paste him
they
on the
can't
wall.
see
He's
his
cardboard.
face. So
Well,
they
you
don't even care about him
That's
when you can't see somebody's face.
All right, aside from that, Tristan Jarry gets hurt a lot, and we know that. And Casey DeSmith seems to have a high ceiling when he's playing out of his mind, which we saw against the Capitals. Now, the team is old, and we understand that, and that might be why the team struggles to play in the third period because fatigue hits you more when you're older, right? That's common sense. So that's not really anything earth-shattering, but that's kind of what I'm going with at this point is that the team struggles in the third period because they're aging, and it's rough. Now, Casey DeSmith plays well. He's got a high ceiling, I think. I have some faith in him to play well. It's just a matter of, okay, I get it. I know it. I heard you. Everybody can hear you. It's not a secret. I feel like these are my own thoughts. But at any rate, if you play Casey DeSmith and he plays with a high ceiling and he plays well, and the Penguins go into the playoffs and then DeSmith struggles, you put Tristan Jarry in there, you avoid injury. Tristan Jarry can play healthy and maybe play better to get the Penguins through a series. If Casey DeSmith plays out the season and the Penguins lose that wild card spot they're trying to hang on to, and then the Penguins don't make the playoffs, I don't care. I already told you before, my expectations of the team are already lowered. If they don't, I don't expect them to make it past the first round. So everybody wins. Give DeSmith a shot. He'll either play terribly, the team will miss out on the playoffs, and then we won't have to make any excuses anymore, and we can all and management can come to the understanding his team's not good enough. Or perhaps DeSmith plays well, surprises us all, gets us to the playoffs, and either plays well in the playoffs or gives Jarry enough time to rest to sneak in there if the Penguins fall short in a series in that first round. And maybe the Penguins can get past the series. Either way, seems like a win-win to me. One more opinion, this one about baseball, this one a little bit quicker. I have no idea why Travis Swaggerty didn't make the Major League roster for the Pirates. It seems like the Pirates do this thing where they're like, well, we don't want to ruin this guy's confidence, but we're going to give players who we're going to give them, like a bunch of chances, a lot of unnecessary chances, and they're going to continue to fail us and struggle, and we're never going to get to see our top prospects because we always have to We have to hold on to the ones too long in the minors that were drafted high, but then let's give this guy we just acquired from the Twins 10 chances. I hate it. Opinions, yay, hockey and baseball. The end. Okay.
Thank you, Nick. I won't rebut any of that, but it was really good. I appreciate it. And how much time do we have left so I can do On Location and squeeze it in?
We got about 6 minutes, and I'll give you a tap when we got to get out.
Okay. I'll tap on.
All right.
All right, Rowan, let's go to On Location. All right, On Location, it's real simple. Saturday at 8:45 at Provident Charter School. Me and Nick will be there about 8:15. We're not sure what time Smoking Jim will be there. He comes from Monroeville. I still don't know where he lives in Monroeville, so I don't know how traffic will be Saturday morning to Troy Hill. They have a Taekwondo show. They got Pitt and CMU kids coming in to perform. They're performing from the Bridgeville Taekwondo, from the Wexford Taekwondo, and the students at Provident Charter School that do Taekwondo all be performing. Smoking Jim will be amazed like he is, because if you can kick a break a board because he can barely walk, that he's amazed by it. And when Master Zach breaks 2 boards in the air with a left foot and a right foot, that's my favorite move. He does it for me. You'll be amazed at that. So we're going to have fun there. And that's the first day of April. April 1st. It won't be April Fool's Day, except the one April Fool I think we'll hear, Nick, is, hey, Machine, I'll be there.
Yeah, is this
He just goes to bed that time.
Bingo.
Yes.
On that, Martin Piccolo is watching. Paul Haley said, great show tonight, guys. We're almost closing it down. How many minutes do we got to go?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. That's good. We got some other potential shows coming up at Monsville Prison is the 22nd. Me and Smoking Jim are going to announce, film, and ring announce. And Nick's going to set us up with multiple cameras. And we'll be live streaming Facebook, BP Bethel Park TV, and don't forget Pittsburgh Sportsline channel. Subscribe so you can watch us down in Monsville Prison, about an hour and a half away the way Smoking Jim drives. So,
Probably not BPTV, just the YouTube and Facebook for.
well, I always
Sportsline.
put it out there that I saw it. It's actually called Bethel Park TV on Facebook.
We don't stream to there though anymore.
Okay, you're not.
No, just the sports line.
You
It's a
heard-
sport.
this
It's a
is
sport.
so-
It's a sports line exclusive, and then we'll broadcast it after probably about 3 days after all that.
Well, I'm glad we finally got a clarification because I could
Been
save
that kind of day.
I could save 20 seconds of time on this. Gosh darn it. And good luck to the Buccos. I'm always optimistic in February, March, and April's coming up. So I'm still optimistic in March. And they play Thursday.
Yes.
That's still March, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'll be writing your speech for June.
Thank you very much. It's very simplistic.
It's easy. I just go to the old one.
Understand, and it's been repetitive. No, and I just want to thank everybody for watching and tuning in. We appreciate your comments. Some of them I see, some of them I don't. So if I missed that, I apologize. And if not, you can watch again next time and try to make your same comments. And if you constantly want to approve of Smoking Jim's gear, you know it's between $5 and $10 per item. And he does not wear a size 27 shoe, but he gets it for $20. So I just wanted to clarify that. And he still thinks Babe Ruth, he's a Hall of Famer for the Yankees. He thinks he's a Pirate fan. We know he never was. So on that note, how's that time doing? I was trying to fill some air out.
About a minute and a half.
Wow. Any last words, Smoking Jim?
No.
Perfect. Guns.
I don't even know what to even say. I think we need some holy water in here.
We'll put an order up for the holy water next show. Nick, any final words?
I am excited about opening day. I openly said the Pirates are going to win 84 games. We'll see if I'm right.
Can I bet you on it? I'll bet you a quarter.
You openly said.
I'll bet a quarter
Did they win less then?
they win less. No 84 this year. A miracle would happen.
All right.
And I'm glad he's delusional. because I always want the Pirates to do well. I tell people,
Wait, you didn't even ask my reasoning.
well, that's all right.
We got time for it.
Oh, what's your delirious reason?
I think that if Jake Marisnik and Roberto Perez didn't get hurt last year, the Pirates would have done better. But because a lot of their veterans got hurt when they were in third place in May going into June, then they lost their veteran players, had to rely on a lot of their young, unexperienced players who did poorly as they were growing. And I think that now that they have more veterans, as long as their veterans stay healthy, which I think they will, they'll win that many games. 84.
Can I make a statement?
You got 20 seconds.
All right. To me, it's a yes or no answer. Are the Pirates going to get more than 81 wins? No.
Only one way they'll do it, if McCutchen actually does contribute.
All right.
Fair enough.
Thanks for watching. Please stay Joey strong.